All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so today in this lesson, I want to go into a book, all right, written by Salem Kirban, all right, the same man that wrote Satan's Angels Exposed, okay? He wrote another book called Satan's Mark Exposed, all right, which goes into the mark of the beast. All right, now this man, he doesn't have a full understanding of the scriptures, all right? That's only given to the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, all right, which are the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner. All right, we are teaching and telling you, all right, for certain and for surety that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man. All right, the mark of the beast is an actual physical tangible thing that the elites want to implant under your skin, man. All right, because you will have false prophets out there, all right, that will tell you that the mark of the beast is not a physical thing, that it is not the RFID microchip, which indeed it is, man. All right, if you have a so-called prophet telling you that the mark of the beast is not a physical thing that the elites want to implant under your skin, that's a false prophet, man. All right, indeed the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man. All right, now this man has like I said, he doesn't have full understanding of the scriptures, all right? That's only given to the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord. So he doesn't know exactly what the mark of the beast is, but he's right on top of it, man. He's right there, man. All right, because he goes into it all throughout this book. He goes into the dollar bill collapsing, and he goes into the mark being on your right hand and your forehead, and you won't be able to buy or sell. Like literally buy or sell, and he goes in, like I said, he goes into the dollar bill collapse, and it's going to be used to have complete control over you and all that, man. All right, he goes into like how everything becoming digital was the beginning of the mark of the beast gradually being ushered in and all of that, man. And I want to go into that, man. All right, so the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are telling you that the mark of the beast is an actual physical thing, man. A physical, tangible thing that the elites, all right, the elite, the wicked Edomite elite banking families want to put under your skin, man. Okay, and that is the RFID microchip, man. All right, we are sure about it, man. All right, so let's get into it, man. You got this chapter right here, and that's the spirit, man. I just clicked and then just opened up, man. All right, the birth of computers, all right? But let me, yeah. All right, let's zoom in real quick. All right, this chapter is chapter 5, the birth of computers. But when you go over a page, all right, it says microcomputers. All right, it says we are living in the age of microcomputers. Yeah, we're living in that age right now. And you got to remember, this book was written, it was published in 1978, man. You see, 1978. All right. So back then, this man probably heard, Abba Bivens in them. I don't know the date when Abba Bivens died. All right, but he probably heard the 7, man. All right, High Priest Ariel and all of them. All right, King Masha and all of them, man. All right, so it says microcomputers. It says we are living in the age of microcomputers. A single chip processor containing over 10,000 transistors is less than the size of a dime, all right? So how much more has that technology advanced now? Because, like I said, this book was published in 1978, all right? 1978. So how much more did the technology advance, and you're able to Bro, you got nanotechnology, man. You know? You got robots the size of ants. You know? Smaller than that, bro. You know, it says we are living in the age of microcomputers, and that's exactly what the MOTB is. The RFID microchip is. It's a tiny microcomputer, man. And that computer is going to report back to a supercomputer or a master computer all that information that's on there, man. You know? Everything you do, everything you buy and sell, everything you do is going to report back to a supercomputer, man. All right, it says a single chip microprocessor containing over 10,000 transistors is less than the size of a dime. It staggers the imagination to realize what a large volume of information can be stored in so small a unit. All right, and that's exactly that's exactly what's going to be on that MOTB. All right, the microchip, man. All right, tons of information. All right, your medical information, your bank account information, all types of information, everything you buy and sell. All right, everything you could think of is going to be all types of information is going to be on that chip, man, on that mark, man. All right, because when you go into the Greek, right, when you read Revelation 13 and 16 through 18, right, when you read that word mark there in the Greek, the word there is charagma. But when you go into the etymology of the word charagma, the word there is charax. But when you go into the etymology of the word charax, the word there is grapho, which grapho means writing or information. Come on, man. Matter of fact, let's prove it, bro. Let's just prove it, bro. Cause tons of information. All right, let's get it. Revelation 13 is going to be stored on that MOTB, the mark of the beast, man. All right, Revelation, all right, 13 and 16 through 18. All right, is talking about the mark of the beast. All right, Revelation 13 and 16, and he causes all. Who is that he? That he is talking about Esau, Edom, starting with the elite banking families, man. All right, that rule, you know, that is the beast, man. All right, it says Revelation 13 and 16. All right, it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, so let's see what that word is in the Greek. The word there, mark, man. All right, the word there, mark, in the Greek is a stamp or an imprinted mark. Yeah. All right, things carved, sculpture, graven work. So we know that this isn't a stamp or an imprinted mark that has to be stamped or imprinted on the body, man. Your right hand and your forehead. But when you go into the etymology of the word charagma, the word there is charax. All right, which means what? A pale or stake or palisade, which represents the instrument they're going to impale you with to put the mark of the beast in you, man. Come on, man. But when you go into the etymology of the word charax, the word there is what? Grapho. All right, where you get the word graph from. All right, to write with reference to forms of the letters. All right, to delineate letters on a tablet, parchment paper. All right, or other material. To write with reference of the context of writing, to express with written characters. All right, it says to commit to writing, write down, record. All right. Use of those things which stand written in sacred books. All right, to write to one, i.e., by writing, to give information. Come on, man, because a lot of information is going to be stored on that mark. So that's why it says right here. It says we are living in the age of microcomputers. A single chip microprocessor containing over 10,000 transistors is less than the size of a dime. It staggers the imagination to realize what a large volume of information can be stored in so small a unit. All right, think of the power a world leader will have who can control this mechanical army. Yeah, and that's Esau Edom with his God complex. Right, he wants to be able to control this entire earth. All right, have complete control of this entire earth. And everyone's a damn slave, a damn pawn, man. You understand? He gets off on that, man. All right? On that type of imagination, that type of dream, man. You know, because he wants to have complete control on. He can know exactly where your whereabouts are in real time. How many steps you took, every thought you thought of. All right? He has that God complex, all right? That's 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. And I think that's also in Ezekiel or in Isaiah 28, I think it is. All right, it's either Ezekiel or Isaiah 28, man. All right, it's written there also. It says, think of the power a world leader will have who can control this mechanical army. Yeah, all right. It says, in less than 40 years, the computer has come from a dream to a design for disaster. And we have microcomputers in our pocket, our phones, man. You know, our phones. All right. Now, chapter 6, it says electronic banking. First steps toward the mark. Yeah, that's what it all started with, man. All right. When electronic banking, all right, came into play, all right, in a society, it started with the credit card in the 60s, man. All right. That was the first step towards the mark of the beast, man. All right. Everything becoming electronic, everything becoming digital, man. All right. Slowly and gradually, man. All right, and even today, everything is becoming more digital, man. You see, you don't see people paying with hard cash anymore like that, man. You see people paying either with their credit card or debit card or even their phones. They touch the phone, all right, to the thing, and it goes boop, you know, with their Google Pay or their Apple Pay. You know? Come on, man. It says electronic banking, first steps toward the mark. All right, it says the banks began a revolution in the mid 1960s when they moved into the credit card business. You see, and that was the beginning of it, man. All right, it says by 1969, two major systems emerged: Bank Americard and MasterCharge. All right, which probably became Bank of America and MasterCard. All right, it says a survey taken in 1975 indicated that over 60% of the then 55 million holders of national bank cards did not know which bank issued their card. All right, they failed to realize, all right, that their credit was controlled by super banks. All right, and that's the mindless sheep of the people, man. The people people don't know what's going on, man. All right, it says at that time, major credit cards gave the banks an added 22 billion in sales volume. All right, small banks could not compete with this service, thus the larger banks got larger. All right, it says these larger banks are global oriented, not nationally oriented. Their allegiance is to an international world system. All right, it says for that's where their volume of profits originates. It has been estimated that half of the money loaned by the New York super banks is loaned to worldwide international corporations. All right. It says with this international allegiance, it is natural for the super banks to try and build up the use of credit cards in the US. This gives them more money to negotiate deals internationally. All right, it says in 1975 there were some 55 million credit card holders in the United States. All right, today there are over 600 million credit cards in use. All right, this generates a sales volume annually of over 150 billion. It says of this unpaid balance account for over 50 billion. All right, it says it is the interest that banks charge on the 50 billion that enlarges their own treasury of power. All right, yeah, because they lend money and then they charge interest on that money they loan, right? And then that's how they profit, man. All right, let's keep reading. It says this so-called plastic revolution could be more aptly called a super bank revolution. It helps fulfill the aims of the trilateralists, all right, who are striving for an international superpower. All right. It says bankers for years now have been wanting to flood the country with a system called EFT, all right, electronic funds transfer, all right. It is their primary drive towards a cashless society, all right. So this always has been their plan, all right, to a cashless society. That's why you see things the way they are now, all right, because when this dollar bill collapse, it's going to be done on purpose, man, by the elite banking families when they pull that plug, man. All right, when they feel like it's time, it's going to be systematically created and done. All right, the dollar bill collapsing, and you see that happening right now as we speak. That's why you have inflation, man. All right, and then you're going to have hyperinflation, okay? You know, because the dollar bill, the US dollar is what, the top dollar on the earth right now. All right, and so if the top dollar collapses, it's going to collapse all over the world, man. It cashless society all over the world, man. You know? That's their aim, bro. All right? It says that's the aim of the elites. All right? It says they are making great headway right now after a few years of slow progress. Let's see what this is talking about. Let's keep going. All right, and then you got the debit cards, man. It says the United States government, let me zoom in real quick so you can see. All right, it says the United States government is one of their best customers. Social Security money can now be transferred direct to your bank, all right, without your seeing any check. It is done electronically via computer, yeah. All right, it says this EFT system is promoted to the unwary consumer as a quote-unquote convenience. All right, and that's how they're going to make people take the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. All right, they're going to make it sound very convenient for you, man. Oh, you're not going to be able to lose your money anymore. All right, we're going to know exactly who you are. If anything happens to you, we're going to be able to track you if you get, kidnapped or stolen, right? All your medical information is going to be on there just in case, we need to know what type of medicine you need, all right? Stuff like that, man. They're going to make it sound real convenient. You people are just going to line up like dumbasses, like the sheep you are, man. All right? It says this EFT system is promoted to the unwary consumer as a convenience, all right? Actually, it paves the way for the Antichrist and the mark. Now, like I said, this man doesn't have, complete understanding of the scriptures, all right? There is not a one man known as the Antichrist, man, that's going to come and, like how these Christians think, man. There's no one man as known as the Antichrist is going to come and he's going to deceive people. That's not scriptural, man. The word Antichrist, all right, the word anti meaning against, and Christ comes from the Greek word Christos, which means anointed or Messiah. All right. If I'm an atheist, that makes me an antichrist. If I'm against the true Messiah, which is Yahushai, all right, that's an antichrist, man. You Christians are antichrist, man. We call you anti-Christians, man. All right, because y'all don't have the true gospel, the true doctrine, man. So y'all antichrist, y'all anti-Messiah. All right, you understand? It says debit cards towards a cashless society. All right, it says in the widely envisioned cashless society dominated by magnetically, all right, encoded plastic debit cards. Funds would be rocketed across the nation in seconds, all right, eliminating checks and supposedly saving both the time and the money it takes to process them. All right. It says such a transfer was made electronically to a bank in London in January 1981. All right, in January 1981, release of the 52 American hostages from Iran. All right, so they didn't even send checks. They just electronically, man, sent it to them through the airways, through the cloud, man. All right. It says It says, with electronic terminals in every retail outlet and even in homes and offices, there would be no need for people ever to go near a bank to carry out routine transactions. Yeah, because now you could pay with your debit card. You could go online and you could pay things online and stuff with your debit card through the phone and, through the internet, man. You don't need to write checks out no more to pay for something. And it goes through like that in the snap of a hand, the snap of a finger, man. It says in homes and offices there would be no need for people ever to go near a bank to carry out routine transactions. The plastic card would be used for all purchases, deposits, withdrawals, payments, and bills, and borrowing of money. Yeah, and this, you got to remember, this book was published in 1978. All right. And you see that, and this is now, man. People paying with their debit card online with their phones and all that, man. All right. Some of them got their information saved, so they ain't got to type in the information of their debit card or the credit card. They just hit the buy button or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It says, in recent years we have seen. All right, this was all gradually. For people that just don't know, this is all steps gradually taken to the cashless society or the mark of the beast, man. All right, which is the RFID microchip, man. All right. It says, which is the digital chocolate chip that the elites want to implant under your skin, man. It says, in recent years, we have seen the spawning of automated teller machines, ATMs. This saves banks salaries and increases their profits. They also contain a hidden motion picture camera that photographs and identifies you without your knowledge. Well, because the ATM got a camera in front of it. All right, got a camera in front of it. You got to be an idiot to not know that and see that camera. That's, it takes your pictures and videos you as you, withdrawing or depositing money, man. All right. Let's keep reading. Let's see what's going on, man. All right, because I didn't even read this whole chapter. All right. It says, one day in the tribulation period, you will need proper identification, all right, to withdraw or deposit money in your bank. And that's the MOTB. And you see the man right here. You see? It shows a picture right here of something scanning this man's hand. All right. Yeah, and you see people with the MOTB now. All right, you see people with the MOTB now. They got the chip in their hand, all right, to get in their car, all right, to get into their home, to buy things. People have it now. When they go to the supermarket, they scan their hand, But there's going to be a time where it's going to be made mandatory under the punishment of death. All right, because that's the vision that Apostle John seen, man, when he was on the island of Patmos, man. All right, he's seen people getting beheaded, all right, for not taking the mark of the beast, man. All right, which is the digital chocolate chip, the RFID chip that the elites want to implant under your skin, man. You understand? All right. Look, like I said, man, like he doesn't have true understanding of what the mark of the beast is, but he right on the money. Look. All right, laser identification beam, and you see it beam into his hand and scanning his hand, man, for a payment, man. All right. It says the identification will be invisible mark, all right, either on the back of your right hand or on your forehead. Well, we know it's going to be under the skin, man. All right, it's going to be under the skin. All right, the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. It's a digital physical thing that the elites want to implant under your skin, man. All right, watch the Aaron Russo interview that he had with Alex Jones, man. All right, which Aaron Russo, he had to talk with Nick Rockefeller, man, and Nick Rockefeller, all right, told him about the MOTB, man, the mark of the beast, how they want to put a chip, have everyone chipped, man. All right, that they want to chip under everyone's skin. Come on, man. It says quite possibly You may even have to apply your worldwide money card. Remember, a tiny computer chip on your money card can contain over 10,000 transistors and store complete life history and credit record. All right. Can you imagine the power of the international bankers? All right. And right here it says Antichrist will have over the individual with this data at their instant control. You see, man? Come on, bro. All right, it says electronic funds, EFT, would cut bank cost about 80% in paper handling. All right, banks today process some 55 billion checks annually via EFT system at a cost of 16 billion. All right, let's see. Let's just breeze through this real quick. All right. All right, let me go over real quick and see what's going on. All right. Ooh, all right. It says let's read this. It says electronic banking, all right? It says electronic banking, all right, will control your finances. Yeah. All right? It says, bro, they have control of us now, but they would have complete control if they really hit you with that MOTB, man. All right. It says electronic banking will control your finances. All right. It says eventually everyone will have to have a mark placed on their right hand or forehead, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, man. That's what the mark of the beast is, man. You will have false prophets again. You will have false prophets tell you that the mark of the beast is not a physical thing. They will tell you that it is a spiritual thing. All right, and they will also tell you that it is not the RFID microchip, which indeed the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man. And you're gonna find out, man. You're going to find out that your pastor that you love so dearly well, man. All right. You're going to find out when the mark of the beast does come, all right, which is the RFID microchip, when it's made mandatory, that's when you're going to find out, all right, that your Christian pastor that you love so much is a false prophet, that he has been a false prophet this whole time because he hasn't warned you about it. He hasn't told you about it before it came. All right. And then when it does come, he's going to tell you that's not the mark of the beast. Oh, it's okay to take it. That's what he's going to. It's all right to take it. Then he's going to read the script. Then he's going to read the scripture out the Bible. All right. That's going to make you believe that it's okay to take it. And that's when you're going to realize that he's a false prophet, man. All right. Because he's supposed to tell you not to take it, man. And every single last one of you pastors, man, in these Christian churches, man, you're all false prophets, man. You teach a false gospel, a false doctrine. All right. It says the true prophets of the Lord are the Israelites of great millstone and the ones that teach the like doctrine, the ones that teach in like manner, man. All right. It says electronic banking will control your finances. Eventually, everyone will have to have a mark placed on their right hand or forehead. As you enter a bank, you will place your hand palm down at the teller cage, and a beam of light, a laser beam, all right, will automatically read your mark number on your hand, all right, or forehead. You will be immediately identified. Your request for money will be instantly approved or denied, all right? You see? So he on the money. He don't know exactly what it is, all right, but he on the money, man. He don't know it's an actual physical thing, man. All right, because he starts going into tattoos and being stamped and all of that, man. All right, it says, for those living in that era, it will seem like a dream, but in reality, it is a nightmare. Yeah, it's a nightmare for the non-elect. All right, it's a nightmare for the non-elect. All right, but the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, we've been teaching it the right way. All right, we're telling you that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, and we've been telling y'all that, man. So like the scriptures say, all right, when it shall come to pass, then they shall know that a prophet has been among them. All right. It says smart credit cards to replace current ones. All right, let's zoom in real quick. It says the technique of gradualism. Yeah, little by little. All right, because that's how they get you used to it. So when the mark of the beast is ushered in, when the MOTB is ushered in, when the RFID microchip is ushered in, you'll be like, you'll find no problem with it. You'll think it's just that another average step towards society, you know, of technology, you know. It says the car with the brain. All right. It says smart credit cards to replace current ones. The technique of gradualism, yeah, because little by little things are steps to the MOTB. All right, to the society completely collapsing. All right, because you people are so used to not paying without money. A lot of people don't carry money no more. All right, and they don't pay with physical cash. They just boop boop their credit card or the debit card or their phone. They put the phone to the meter, the boop. You know, because you people got Apple Pay or Google Pay. Y'all got Cash App or Venmo, whatever. You know. You people are finished out here, man. All right. The technique of gradualism has been used in the credit card business. First came the ordinary credit card that you and I are familiar with. This revolution began in the mid-60s. Then the EFT. All right. Transaction or debit cards known as asset cards were issued. All right. This is a plastic card issued by a financial institution to account holding customers. All right. Information is either embossed or impregnated or magnetically encoded so that the card can activate the EFT system. All right. Transactions can be completed in seconds electronically, all right, without the necessity of checks, passbooks, deposit slips, etc. Now we are witnessing the entrance of the smart credit card. Woo. Just like we got smartphones and smart TVs and everything is smart. You got smart cars. All right. This smart credit card. It says it is estimated by computer companies that this smart credit card will replace the present day credit card and personal checkbooks. All right. By early 1990. All right. It says the smart credit card has a built-in electronic brain. It looks like your normal credit card, except that it has a tiny memory chip in one corner. Yeah, and that's now you, cause bro, we literally seen that, man. All right, cause first you had the credit cards or the debit cards where you swipe, and now you got the debit cards and the credit cards with the chips in them where you could just tap it. Now you just tap it, bro, and that's been a thing for a little while now. But there was a time where you didn't have it, and then it came, man. I know y'all remember when the credit cards and the debit cards now got the chips in them, the brain chips in them, you know? And now you could just tap it now. You can either swipe your credit card or your debit card, or you could just tap it on a thing, you know? It says the smart credit card has a built-in electronic brain. It looks like your normal credit card, except that it has a tiny memory chip in the corner, yeah, all right? It says, and that's the difference, all right? You first slip this smart credit card, all right, into a machine that verifies your identity to prove the card was not stolen, all right, nor being used improperly. Once your card clears this hurdle, all right, you can put it to use. All right. It says when making a purchase, a customer inserts the card into the store's electronic monster, all right? This automatically deducts your purchase from its credit load. All right. It records the details of the payments and your bank account of a magnetic band. All right. Which acts as a shopkeeper's cash register. Later, the shopkeeper takes the magnetic band, all right, to the bank. All right. The bank runs it through their computer, crediting his account and debiting, all right, or charging your bank account. All right. It says if the shopkeeper has a terminal in his store, all right, this electronic fund transfer takes place at the time you actually make the purchase, all right? Currently, these smart credit cards with electronic memory chips cost some $50 to produce. Soon, this cost will be pared down to $5 per card as banks prepare a major drive next year to give them away, promoting them as an electronic miracle, all right? Come on, man. All right, today's marking system, chapter 7, today's marking system, tomorrow's control. All right, it says one might ask the question, how could intelligent people allow themselves to delude into accepting a mark so they could buy or sell? Yeah, because you got sheep out here, man. Sheep out here, all right? They're so brainwashed and have no idea what's going on. They're complete zombies that they'll do anything just to partake in regular society. You see? All right, but, you know, yes, and you know it says a machine identifies by your hand. All right, identifies you by your hand. All right, but I'll leave it at that, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, man. All right, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Ratazad. This lesson was edifying, man. All right, so I'll leave it at that, man. Call Halalyum, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. All right, so with that being said, until the next one, Shalom, Shalom.